It's your time.
Hi, everyone. It's your Vicki from It's Your Time. And this is my cohort, Dawna. And it is your time to get through December.
Stop.
No?
Stop. You s- you said it's your Vicky from It's Your Time. It's your Vicky from It's Your Time. That's
Oh,
what
well,
you
then
said.
we need to do that over again.
We always start out so funny. Okay, let's try again.
All right.
Okay, you count down and you start when you want.
5, 4, 3, 2. Hi, everyone. This is Vicki. My name is Vicki. This is my co-host, Dawna, and it is your
Oh.
time. And right now, it's your time just to make it through December in one piece, in my opinion. But that's for me. That's my own issues I have. But so the very first thing that we're going to go into is what's new.
Yes, so yeah, what is new? The new thing that I noticed this week, and other people have probably seen this already, but I've noticed that all of the different practices that there are so many anymore, and there are more and more and more because everybody's different and everybody looks at each practice differently, and the healing help that they come up with that come out of them that they're offering to people is going to be different than the next guy's. And so there's so many modalities, so many new modalities. And I'm always trying to simplify, and I want them all to be one easy thing that everybody can do, but that's never really going to happen. So, but what I noticed is that all of them really come down to the same thing, and that we are we're all the same because we all have the want to light workers and healers, want to help people, and we're all people that are receiving receiving the same thing in different ways because we're different. So to me, it just sort of showed the idea of unity, that we are all together, we are all part of Source, and that everything that we're doing all comes down to the same thing, is that we want to help and we want to heal.
And one of the things that, because we were talking about a little bit, all the affirmations, all the mantras, all of this, all of that, it's like I just kind of want to boil it. It's self-talk.
Yes.
It is how we feel about ourselves and what we want for ourselves. And we have to build ourselves up before we can help other people. And so it's all self-talk. It's almost like self-hypnosis, like because every morning when I do my affirmations, and every other people do other things, and it's like we just kind of have to treat ourselves the way we would treat our best friends.
And these things are so simple. That is so simple
Mm-hmm.
to say, and it brings it right down into, but then putting it into practice, that's a whole other thing. But everybody's going to do it differently, and it's so
Right. But we all do have to make sure that you go inside and you are kind to yourself.
definitely.
And but my new thing is I was talking to my sister-in-law who lives in Oregon, and she was telling me this thing, all these energies, this the last couple of weeks have been really, really intense. I've had issues, health, like I've had a headache for 3 or 4 days. It comes, it goes, it comes, it goes. I have digestive issues. My husband's like fighting a flu kind of thing. And my sister-in-law was noticing more pain with her fibromyalgia. And it's like,
Oh,
but then it's like all these energies are just very, very dense and we have to get through them. And so, but talking to her, I was also, the things that she was saying, it just kind of came to me that more and more people are waking up in their own time, in their own way, but they are becoming more aware. And I think that's kind of what this whole waking up thing is. You're just becoming more aware. You're becoming more aware of people, of situations, of yourself. and how you want to project yourself out into the world. You just are more aware. And when people get into different situations where they are actually meeting people that they don't normally meet, it makes them more human, and it brings out the humanness in yourself. Because she was telling me about, a daughter that she has, and new um, this new thing that her daughter was doing, and she is actually she works kind of like in the medical profession, and she is working more with trans people. Well, she didn't know anything about trans people, I'm sure, but now she is meeting trans people. She knows more of their issues. It's just
Right.
becoming more aware.
Right.
And
Right.
I find that very exciting.
Well, what I just found exciting about what you just said is that's what the celestial helpers are talking about in today's, not channeling, but in today's the channel that I brought through that I'm going to post on Facebook this morning, or from this morning, where they're saying, because I asked what are we going to, what are people going to feel? What are they going to see? And all of that. And that was it. They will become more aware of everything. Colors will be more colorful, and all that. So
Mhm.
you just channeled them. So that's cool.
That's cool. So what's new on your end of the universe?
That's it. That I'm noticing how different yet the same everything is, and that we're, more unified. I feel that it unifies everybody. And sorry about that. But so then we usually go into our integration and synchronicities that you were just talking
We're
about a little bit.
inspirations and synchronicities.
Oh,
That's really what it was,
inspiration.
inspirations.
Oh, I like the
Even though I
inspiration.
have been integrating for a week now.
Inspirations. Oops, I wrote it down wrong. Inspirations, that's different.
Well, I will say, I didn't post to my Facebook, but something came to me when I was doing yoga last night. And I haven't done it for a few days, so I really kind of needed to make that space for myself. And it just kind of came to me as like, you will feel more. Because I'm very short to the point. I don't
Yes.
have a lot of flowery language. I hear, you will feel more.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, what does that mean?
That's good. That's good to
And
feel more.
that's what brought me into this whole heart thing, because listening to all the people on video that I do, it's like December is the time of the heart. You're gonna have your heart chakra expand more.
Hmm.
And I was just wondering how to actually do that, like in a 3D world. How do you get your heart chakra to expand more?
That is, I mean, are you asking me? Are you?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Thank you. I didn't want to butt in if you were.
Well, I can continue talking. I can
That's
continue.
okay. That's fine. You know me. Anyway, but the way that I did it was just to continue doing chakra meditations. And what I found and what I've heard other people say, that when you do the whole thing, like you start at the root chakra and go up, if you've done that maybe 3 or 4 times, then your what's going on in your head and your heart start to kind of meld, not meld necessarily, but integrate with each other.
Coherent.
And then, yeah. And well, everything's more coherent when you do the chakra meditations, and it's not just chakra meditations. Opening your heart would be, when you are in joy, more joy that you can find, the more, like, even starting with just gratefulness will open your heart, and then you'll find joy, and that will open your heart even more. But if you wanted to sort of study or do a lesson that's going to help, that's what I would suggest, is the doing the full chakra meditations that will open everything. And then as you'll see a change in your life and the way you look, your outlook, and the things that you feel. And so, like, you're talking about maybe opening, you that they said your guide said you're going to feel more. And because I know your human design, to me, that feels like you're going to be opening your lower chakras a little more. That's what it feels like to me.
My lower chakras are getting a workout. Not,
Well,
not in that way,
physically,
but
yes,
you
I
know what I mean.
know. I know. And that was part of the that it's not much of an inspiration, but it is an integration to that she has apparently Vicki has many people in her life that are going through a lot right now. I don't at this knock on wood at this
Yeah, I
time,
was going to say you
but
might be
I have
saying a little too early.
yeah, but I have had times where you were totally joyful and everything was great, and
Hmm.
everybody that I know, everything was falling apart. So and so had this and that and the other,
Yeah.
and yeah. So,
Well, we can't all fall apart at the same time. That just
no,
wouldn't be right.
we don't want to
We need
do
other
that.
people to lift us up when we're going down.
But as far as opening your heart for if you are you did you complete what you wanted to say about opening?
Well, I kind of wanted to expand a little bit more
Oh, go
on
for it.
the you will feel more. So, like, if you do feel joy a lot, you will feel more joy. If you feel anxiety a lot, you will feel more anxious. So be sure and take that into consideration.
Yeah.
If you get mad, you will feel more anger.
Hmm.
And so if you feel love, you will feel more love. And that's, of course, where I want to make sure my heart is ready for that one.
That's right. And but the other thing that the helper said that when you feel the lower polarity emotions, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to feel them, you'll be able to bounce back faster and you'll be more joyful when you go back into joy. And they've said this in the past, but this is again, it's more condensed. We're near the end of the
Mm-hmm.
year now, so
Mm-hmm.
anything that we were doing before, we might have been working out here somewhere. Now we're like working right here.
Yeah.
And and so it's the time is it's your time right now, that's for sure.
Yeah. Right
So,
now.
yeah, it is.
And
So, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, just you'll feel more. And this is a big window. And I know that the 12th is going to be another portal, which is, going to be another big one. This full moon really kind of knocked me for a loop, um, as far as my headaches and digestive issues. and and earthquakes and volcanoes. And we're all kind of speeding up and going somewhere. I just don't know where it is. But I have gotten the feeling and like pulling my cards for myself, asking my pendulum, which for some reason I think it gives me decent answers. It's like things are going to change. I don't know how. I don't know into what, but something's going to change.
Mhm.
And we just have to be, like through the eyes of a child, we
Yeah,
just have to go, wow, and not get too scared or not go and not limit ourselves.
right.
Do not limit ourselves by our own beliefs.
And the more open your heart is, the less you will fear. And also, the more that open your heart is, you will see, like you said, as a little child, you will see, and you may look at things in wonder first rather than fear first, and that's going to help you a lot because what is coming, I don't, who knows what time frame, but beyond December, what's coming beyond December and the new earth that's coming, we're going to be creating in a new way. So
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to be creating from our past, and I don't just mean karma and that sort of thing, but our past being that every we react to things now because of our past. We're going to be out of that. We're going to be moving into the new earth. Is your doggy? Did your doggy show
Yeah, she's giving me the eye.
up?
Hi.
Oh, she
She wants
likes
me to.
them.
She wants me to feed her. She always wants me to
Oh.
feed her.
Oh.
What are you gonna do?
Well, I actually my allergies and asthma has been crazy this week, but all of my neighbors are the same, so it's something in the air. So it's not, the energies. But the only other thing that I was thinking of with the heart is our I what came to me is here is why our guides want us to level up, to higher frequencies and to stay in our heart, stay in heart coherence. Like visions that I have seen and I haven't told people of because they were tumultuous. They were earthquakes and floods and all of these things that I don't, I mean, maybe I tell you, maybe I tell, a couple of my friends, oh, I had this dream or whatever, but I've been keeping these things to myself because I want to live in the joy. I don't want to be thinking of this stuff, right? Um,
And the thing
so
is, like I've had those types of visions too, but you never know where or what it's for or
when it's
from and
for,
exactly what it means.
that's right. And so, and these are, that because they seem to be tumultuous is why I wasn't, that's what I'm saying now.
Hmm.
Earthquakes and floods, and now these things are happening, but people are not being harmed by it. It's just
Hmm.
the earth releasing things that no longer serve her, just like we release things that no longer serve us. And
Hmm.
so if I'd been in total heart coherence when I had these a year ago, um, and I pretty much turned them off because I didn't want to see or hear them anymore. Well, now I'm looking at them in a different light. That's my point. If I'd have been more in heart coherence when these happened, my first reaction wouldn't have been fear. And
Hmm.
but I wouldn't tell everybody. I would only tell those who are in heart coherence. This is what I saw, and I mean, and I don't even know why I would say it other than ego. Later on, you could say, "See, I told you so," But I don't know if you'd want to do that. But anyway, but I may have, I would have, maybe I would express it differently now. Is my point. And being a human being and doing as humans tend to do, I saw them as disasters, and I'm definitely learning from that whole thing because of that, because just because you see something,
Right.
it's not going to be bad.
And
You don't know.
just because something looks disastrous doesn't mean it really is disastrous.
And
And
you need to
and
find the good in everything.
yes, and the thing that happens with those kind of things is communities pull together.
Right. Yeah. And
You
I
know.
have a friend who was in the floods about a year or so ago. And it was the things she's told me are amazing. It's
Hmm.
totally amazing.
It
And
is.
but when I was in New York and you think of, the have a go bag because this could happen or that, and it's all fear, 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 fear. We have to have guns because there's 50 million people here and everybody's going to want to come and get my food and all of that fear. And then when that happened, I mean, it wasn't a good thing for any of them to go through, and some people did lose their lives, but hopefully, they're off doing something else on their journey now. But and they asked to be there. But anyway, but yeah, people got
I
together
mean,
and they're
yeah,
still together.
there will always be people who take advantage of other people. There will always be. However, they are in the very much in the minority.
Well,
If if
they're
if
less.
if you have a disaster come into your area, 95% of your neighbors will just want the best for all of us.
That's right. And that's
They're not
smart.
gonna think about how to take advantage of
And because of the enlightenment of what's
you. Hmm.
happening, because of the energies that everyone is emitting for, for joy and gratefulness and
Hmm.
love, that energy is out there, so that even if people are going outside themselves to grab whatever's out there, they're getting more love coming back.
Hmm.
Then wow, that was really good. And also, I don't know if anybody knows, Ann Tucker has been, I mean, a lot of people are getting on YouTube and doing a lot more. There's been a couple of, like, Kelly Kolodny was in a group of, and I'm so sorry I can't remember all the people's names. They were wonderful people. And where they all got on and you saw the whole thing. I didn't see the whole thing, so you can explain. But also, Ann Tucker is going on every day with her Mother of Creation, and when she wasn't on yesterday morning, I was upset. And I said, well, what am I supposed to do now? Kind of a thing. And then I thought about it and I thought, Donna, she is really, really committed to do it. She comes every morning to do this.
And that's
And
hard. I
it
mean, that's a
is.
big
That's a
commitment.
big commitment. That's huge commitment.
It
And then
is.
And then it ended up that she wanted to do it in the evening for people on
Mhm.
the other side of the world, and also because she was doing a symposium of some sort during the
Right.
day.
Yeah,
So here,
she had something already scheduled for the 5th and the
so
6th.
she did that all day, and then she did the thing in the
Hmm.
evening so that I could do it this morning. And but I want to know where my resentment comes from because it happens a lot, and I want to get rid of that. I don't know. I don't know. I have to. I think that's probably my biggest thing now. And I had asked my guides to show me what more do I need to work on, because the things that Mother of Creation sent, she's saying, look at yourself, look within yourself, and
Hmm.
I will forgive. What I love you no matter what. Bring out all of the dark things that you. That's not the right words, but
Yeah.
she's saying,
Things
think of
that irritate you, maybe?
all the even if you go to your darkest place, I will be there with you and I will help you release. And the things that were coming out were just teeny tiny things.
I was going to say, do you have a problem being in the flow of things?
I
Like
don't
if
know.
something unexpected comes up, do you
It
get
depends on what it
irritated?
is.
Oh,
It depends
well,
on what it is. If it's something at work, I am totally out of flow. If something comes up at work, the first thing I think of is, oh, I'm going to the principal's office. That's what it feels like. So that's so deep seated. I don't know if I'm ever going to get rid of it, and I
that
don't
was
have to.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't have to because I'm going to retire soon, I hope. So I don't have to worry about that. But I think, yeah, that's and if it's somebody in authority, because I hate authority, I don't like anyone there. No one is greater than me and no one is lesser than me. So I don't like that at all. I don't like authoritative, you know. And not that my job does that, because they don't. It's not them, it's me.
I
Because they're
just,
very nice people.
well, and that's one of the things I notice is like you need to expect more of other people.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
think I expect too much of people.
Mm, well, like if something happens, you think you're getting called to the principal's office,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it could be because you're doing a great job.
Well, that's
Yeah. And that's what it was for you.
yeah, it was. And I was
But
just like,
that was not your first thought.
no, it wasn't. But
Yeah.
but I have, because of this job, I have,
Hmm.
and my last one too was a lot more upbeat, I guess I would say.
Hmm.
Unless it was the CEO, which that's don't even go there. But with this job, the people that I deal with, I'm getting better at those kinds of reactions. But I was so mad at myself, and I was asking Anne, please forgive me. That was such a terrible thing to even think. I'm so sorry, because here she is doing this great thing, and I was thinking, oh well, she's just doing it because she's doing her thing where she's making money. So we aren't gonna. Oh my God, why do I do that?
Why did you do that?
I don't know. I don't know. I really have a problem with resenting money. I really resent the fact that we have to have money. I've always been that way. And when I was younger, people thought I was crazy, but things are changing. People are seeing it the
Well,
same way.
I always wanted was it Ubuntu Society?
Yes,
A
Ubuntu. Yes.
contribution society.
Yes.
And
Yes,
other planets have that kind of stuff we could do.
they
It would
do.
just take a big, change in our makeup.
Well, maybe if we come back in our next life or the life after, that's what it will be here. So,
Well,
and
or if we
it's
just
like,
hang around long enough, that's what it'll be here.
well, it's starting. It's already starting that way.
Mhm.
And, I say that to my, people that are asking about, how much do you charge for your sessions or, healing or whatever. That's one of the big things I always say. I never want anybody to not have a session that they need because they can't afford it. Or even if they don't want to spend that much money on something, maybe they don't understand how much it's worth until they have a session.
Mhm.
But also, I always say I'm up for barter. I'm always up for bartering because everybody should be.
Healers need healers too.
And what? What's that?
Healers need healers too.
That too. That's true. That's so true. But even if like, oh, you gotta like I had a Starbucks gift card and I never used Starbucks, so I give it to a friend. I pay it forward. I'm always like that. I always do that. But also, one of the things that was very near and dear to my heart this week was I have a friend in Brooklyn who she posts about dogs that need help or cats and, give money kind of a thing. And I had asked her to give money to my friend who needed it to get her dog's teeth pulled, and she gave. And so she came up with this Facebook page the other day to help this dog. And I kept trying to go through PayPal and other things, and it wasn't working. And yeah, I'll get it to work eventually, but excuse me, but my point was that I was mad because this was my close to my heart to help a dog and I wasn't able to do it. So that upset me too.
Well, you see,
So
when something happens like that, with technology or whatever, the very first thing, like if I come up against a roadblock and it's not, I figure there's a reason.
right. That's
There's
what
a
I said.
reason why this is happening.
Yeah.
What is it? And don't push it if you have to push too hard. Just
Right.
don't.
Right. Well, yeah, no. I don't usually push. I usually go with the flow. All of my friends that are in 3D lives, if you want to call it that, um, always say how, you're always so calm and you're always so nice and or whatever, whatever words they use. And you don't get super excited about things. Well, until I was talking about maybe going to Egypt, my friend said, "Man, that's the most excited I've seen you in a long time."
See, every now and then you perk up.
Then I'm like, oh yeah, I want to go to Egypt. Yeah. So, but I was just talking and so and so's going to be there, and this blah blah blah, and I went on, and she was like, I am so happy for. She was so happy for me, and she said, usually you're just so low key that it's almost like not that I put people to sleep, but well, probably that too, but but I'm so relaxed. People have always said that in different venues, like as working with a
You're an
client.
old soul.
Well, that's true. I know that. Oh, I'm not just old. I see what you mean. No, God.
You're not just old.
Yeah, I've been told that. I've been told that too. My whole life I've been called, you're an angel in my life and I haven't done anything. Okay, the angels brought me to you. That it's not me, it's just that's the way. But you were talking about the flow. Um,
I
staying,
was.
yeah, staying in the flow. I I I would say 99.9% of the time I am there. And it's not just until something goes wrong, because even when things go wrong, like around the house, it's like something I forget the vacuum broke, whatever it was. I was just like, okay, whatever. And well, actually, at first I was like, whatever, and then I realized I really need to vacuum this house, and I got mad and I kind of like kicked it, and of course I hurt myself. So anyway, so new one's coming, but I'd say I'm in the flow. I think I'm in the flow 99.9% of the time.
I
So
vacuumed my house on Thanksgiving.
on Thanksgiving,
Yes,
on
and
Thanksgiving
I
Day.
and I and I told my husband, do not get used to Thanksgiving Vicky because she only comes around once a year. I don't
Well,
want to set any expectations.
I think that was the day I was trying to vacuum. I think it was Thanksgiving. Not that anybody was coming over. It's just, well, I used to do it. I used to do it every
Well,
week.
I was vacuuming because it really needed to
Yeah,
be done.
and that actually, the whole thing with Mother of Creation, that would be another thing that would be kind of like a synchronicity.
Oh, yes.
All of these, the sessions each day that we've done with her, I can't even tell you the things that I've seen. Some people have said they see a Mandela, and I see that too, but I've seen other pictures of what they say the earth, the thing around the earth, whatever it is, the veil.
Grid,
What's that?
grid, the veil.
The grid or well, no, not a grid. This is like I'll have to find the picture. But it's like
There's also spheres, different
a
types of
sphere around the earth.
spheres around the earth.
Yes,
Yes.
that's the one that I saw that. Well, first I saw Mother of Creation, a little white thing here, but she had like a tail, like she was a dragon or a what do you call it in the water? Seahorse or a fairy, a fae, the fae were, and I could see her. It wasn't like Tinkerbell. She was like a woman, didn't have wings, but she had this tail. So I don't know if that's just her energy coming out or what. But anyway, and then around that I saw the my what I usually see of my chakras, my sphere, not sphere, spiral. And because she went further down out the spiral, or she came up to me in this spiral. And I, as I'm doing the meditations with her or whatever, and then I open my eyes and I would see and close my eyes again, then I would see this huge mandala around the whole thing. And she was saying things about sending bubbles or sending light, starlight or something. And from the mandala, I saw these things popping at me of light, and there's many things, but that's the only thing that recurs with her. So anytime that I'm doing a meditation with Mother of Creation, that happens. Well, today I did it this morning. I don't remember what the comment was, but I could hear her voice through Anne, and then I heard her say something to me. And I was
Oh,
like,
cool.
that's not what Anne's saying. And she said something to me, and it made me laugh, whatever it was. She said, and she said, that makes you happy. And I said, yes. And she said, well, that makes me happy. We make each other happy. And it was so basic, but it was her little, giggly part, her come to me as a child part, that sort of thing. And then it was back to where I could hear Anne speaking. And that was really cool. I was like, wow, I just get, I mean, you think you're connecting with her anyway because you're meditating and she's there. And then anyway, that it's just so exciting. That not necessarily a synchronicity. The only synchronicity that I had this week was when I was filling out my passport application to get it renewed. Well, I can't find my old one, so I guess I'm getting a new one. I had to put the date of my divorce from my last husband, and I think I told you about it. It really hit me hard. I was like, it was 9/2/2002. And of course, 9 we know is like the end of something. And then 2 is reflection, partnership, polarity, or meeting point. And my ex and he's Aries, I'm Libra. I mean, we're just like the polarity sometimes are so far apart. The things that, were the same are really good, but the ones that were just such polarity. So I thought that was very interesting. The ending of, this polarity. So I felt like that means that I've gotten rid of some karma. I don't know if that's true, but that's what it felt like. So what synchronicity did you have?
Well, I had one just last night. It was kind of weird. I was going through my little tummy upset at
Yeah.
the time, and so I decided I would start reading this book that I had gotten from the library that a lady had recommended. She thought I would really like. So I started reading this book, and I I I'm just kind of thumbing through, and I see a headline of the next chapter, and it was Lily, which is my dog, 12/7, like 2015 or something like that. And tomorrow, last night, would be 12/7.
Yeah.
So I just looked at it, go and saw the name of my dog and tomorrow.
Tomorrow. That's
And
so
so I thought
cool.
that was kind of cool.
That's so neat. And like the old us, if we would see things like that, or at least I did, I don't, maybe it wasn't just my family though. My family was more open to this stuff, but Hollywood makes everybody afraid. So, people would have seen that maybe 10 years ago and just say, "Oh God, what's going to happen to my dog on December 7th?" It's like,
Yeah.
it's just it's,
Yeah.
and they're not as big a deal as the things that come to you. Humans think they're going to be a lot bigger than they are usually.
No, they're just little tiny things
Yeah.
that you notice.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and it shows you are in the flow.
It shows that you are in the flow. And oh, I did want to tell you, I did have a dream like 2 or 3 nights ago of I needed to find my first dog. his name was Harley. He was our very first dog that we got when we got married. And I needed to find my dog. And I found my dog, and he ran up to me, and we were, like hugging and stuff. And it's like, and then that was the end of it. And it's like, and that was the whole heart opening kind of thing too. It was like he was coming to help heal my heart a little bit, I think.
Oh, that's
I
so
know.
sweet. I love those. I love those dreams when,
Yeah.
and you can even smell their fur. Every
Well,
dog has a
I can't
scent.
do that, but
Oh, I did. It depends. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But yeah, it's like you're the dog. It's really there. You're really with the dog. Isn't that cool?
yeah,
So
it
that's
was it was a
also
nice
fun.
dream because I hadn't remembered a dream for a while now. So, and
Oh,
it
wow.
doesn't happen very often, but I do love when I can remember my dreams.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't the last week I haven't had. I know they've been profound because when I wake up, I've just been like, wow, and then it's like gone, just totally gone. And but because I've said I'd like to work through things in my dreams rather than in real life. Like people have a nightmare and they think, oh my God, it's terrible. What? And I always say I'd rather, if you're gonna have a, whatever, gonna be underwater or whatever in it, I'd rather do it in a dream than in real life. So. I just watched that. So now we could talk about one thing that Vicky has wanted to talk about is TV shows. I
Oh
watched,
yeah.
yeah, I watched the Final Reckoning Mission Impossible. Uh,
Oh my God. I
it
got
was
like half an
unbelievable.
hour through it, and I just couldn't understand it.
Oh,
I couldn't
really?
follow the plot.
Well, it did jump around a lot.
Oh, you
Yeah,
think?
it did. It
Yeah,
did, but it was bringing. You had to have seen the other movies too.
well, I
But
did.
Well, I had to see it in two because it seems so long. I was sitting there, I felt like I'd watched it was like at one
Uh,
point it looks like it's the end and then they, move
yeah,
on.
it's like
I had to
I
watch it in two sessions.
it's kind of like a lot of his movies, the plot is secondary to the action,
Well, that's
and
true. That's very true.
and it doesn't always follow in my little mind. I just can't. It's like, did somebody want to control the world? Did they want to destroy the world? But if they destroyed the world, they're destroying themselves. Do they just want to control the world so they could get what they wanted?
It was the
So,
entity. It
but
was like,
but but used it to destroy the world, but not really. So I just got a little. I just no, I cannot do that.
I don't know. I don't go that deep into those things, I
Oh well,
guess. I'm
I
just
do.
it's just
I
entertainment.
try and follow the plot.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, yeah, I would
It
think
was a very confusing plot.
it was not as confusing as is one of something that ended on the roof of something and he jumped off. It was something sunset. That was the most confusing movie. That was even more confusing than the World of Atlas or whatever that Tom Hanks thing. I couldn't watch that.
I didn't ever see
Never
that
got
one.
into that. But anyway, but so now I'm watching Lucifer because I
Yes.
listen to Vicky and I am seeing some interesting. I mean, I thought they were interesting the first time around. I thought it was kind of cute, but now it's like, oh yeah, that's I like
Is it
how
hitting you a little bit deeper?
yeah, it's a little deep. It's a little deeper than it was. And
Mm-hmm.
what's the other? Oh, and the Echoes, Orphan Black Echoes was really, really good. That was very
I watched the first one, but I need to. I'm rewatching Orphan Black because I never really saw the whole thing. So
okay. Yeah. I
I've got to
was
get through that before I go to the other one.
I think on my third watch of that, and then BBC pulled it, or I got a new cable or something, and I couldn't watch it anymore. And then they put it on some other app, and so I was watching there. And then I was in like maybe the last season, and they pulled that, and I didn't really like the last season as well. So yeah, but it's one of my favorite shows, definitely.
Another show. I've gotten kind of into the Korean things on Netflix, but they have to be dubbed in English because I can't read
I
my
can't
TV.
stand them.
I'm not doing that.
I can't
But I
stand them.
watched The Extraordinary Attorney Wu, and she is on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum.
Ah.
And it, you know, Korean shows are a little weird. They're kind of brutal, they're brutal,
Yeah.
but yet they're very heartfelt in certain aspects. So
Mhm.
it's like, and it goes into having an autistic child and how her dad was always so lonely because he couldn't interact with her, right?
Oh,
Because she was in her own world,
yeah.
which most autistic children are. And anyway, it was, ultimately a love story. This man kind of falls in love with her. He's pretty cute. But she starts feeling like she does not want him to be lonely whenever he's around her because she cannot interact as a, normal type of person.
Oh,
she,
wow.
she probably can't give him what he wants. And she
Interesting.
was feeling bad that she couldn't reciprocate his like love. And then he threw in this analogy with a cat, and the cat doesn't love people, but just having the cat around is good enough. And then she, says, well, cats can love. And so it was kind of cool
That's cute.
knowing
Yeah.
how they are approaching some of these aspects, especially with a lot of the, autistic children and adults now. It's like finding different ways to communicate to them, and
Yes.
it's all happening and helping the awakening, of course, because it helps us
Yeah.
look at things in different ways and try and solve problems in different ways and communicate in different ways. So it's just some of it's just very beautiful.
That's much better than, when I turn on, what is it, Peacock comes on and or whatever, Paramount or whatever, and they
Mm-hmm.
show these real live things. Yeah, sure. And I that just makes me want to vomit. But that well, and
Mm-hmm.
not only that, to me it feels like it's keeping people in a low vibration when they're going to be watching those kinds of shows. Like
Well,
why, it's your own life. You don't need someone else's. But that's just, that's
but
me.
also, things like that also make people aware
Well, I
of
hope so. Maybe other
different
people are
segments
looking
of
at it
life
like that. Yeah.
that,
But they're there because people watch them.
yes,
That's kind of
yes, because
sad to
people
me.
are intensely interested in other people's problems.
Well, I guess we'll all get over that
drama,
eventually.
drama is what makes the world go around in
Well, and
one
I
form
I
or
watch
another.
drama. I watch drama like crazy on, cop shows and movies and whatever. I don't
Well,
watch a lot. I watch maybe an hour or two a
yeah,
night,
I was
sometimes two.
I was talking to my sister-in-law, and she has this new doctor, and her doctor recommended her reading this book, and it's about how not letting the outside noise make you sick, kind of thing.
Good.
And so I was, just talking to her. It's like that's all they want is your attention. However, they get your attention, they don't really care. But your attention is your commodity. That is the most important commodity you have is your attention.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
so when we're watching our videos, when we're watching our television, even when you're watching the videos that speak to you, but they have to hyperbolicize, I think that's a word, but make things, hyper
Yeah.
just to get you to click into it. Your attention is what drives.
Yeah.
And so you just
Clickbait.
be,
Yeah.
be aware,
Yeah.
use your attentions, in a mindful way
That's very good.
because people make money off of your attention.
Well, that's it. That's true. And
And whenever you give your attention to something, it just creates more of the same,
right.
you know.
What for
Oh, well,
you?
this got her to click. Let's see if she'll click on this one,
Yeah, that's the
and we'll
algorithm
use the
of the
same kind
world.
of,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, there are algorithms at play all day long,
mhm,
and most people don't realize.
mhm.
And I see through that stuff. Usually I see right through that stuff. I mean, I'm sure there are some that go past me because I don't care. I don't care about those certain things. But the only other thing that I don't remember the name of it. I wanted to remember it, and I know I told you about it, was the movie with Ted Danson. It's an older one, and it starts out with him as a child. Um, you're not really sure if he's seeing real things or not, but it turns out they're ghosts that he's seeing. dead people, whatever, people that have passed. And they're at the end of it, you see that they were there because, they're there and they wanted people to see them and help. And so it turns out that he helped the police solve some past murders. But when it started out, it very much showed what it was like back then. What would that have been in the 60s, I guess? If if you say you see dead people, people think you're crazy.
Mhm.
His mother saw them, but never told him because her husband, his dad didn't want him to know. And so here his mom is going through the same thing that the kid is going through, but dad's putting on mom on medication and it was like that's how it was back then. And so I
Mhm.
watched that and I was like, thank God it's not like that. I mean, maybe it is that way for some people. Thank God it wasn't that
Yeah,
way for me
it
anyway.
probably depends on the family that you're in
Yeah.
and how aware you are of the changes going on in the world. Like maybe if you are, in a very small community or maybe a very religious community, you know,
Right. Right.
and you cannot talk about these things
Oh
because
no, heavens no.
they will just say it's the devil and you will be excommunicated.
That's right. Or worse. Yeah. So but I remember things that have happened in my family where, my mom mentioned that she and her uncle, when her aunt passed, they both saw her at the same time. So now I mean, that's obvious if they both saw it, that's obviously, and she waved goodbye. And so to me, that was like the first ghost story a real ghost story I heard. And it had I mean, it wasn't great that she passed, but great connotations for the family and that she came back to say goodbye, and
You are so Libra sometimes.
oh, yes, I am. I know.
Well, it wasn't great that she
It
passed.
isn't good that she passed, but I mean, the ghost part of it was a good, yeah. Yeah, I'm Libra all the way, always.
I don't want to miscommunicate anything.
No, let's balance that. Well, and plus, you never know how you say things are going to affect people. There are always have to have disclaimers on things when you're doing a podcast, right? Just in case people are
Entertainment
watching.
purposes only.
Yeah, right. There you
And
go.
hopefully it is entertainment.
Yes. Oh, I hope so. You
Yeah,
know, I,
well, we want your attention too, let's face it.
oh,
But we
sure.
don't we don't have clickbait headlines. We got to get some of those.
Well, we have some we're coming up with once in a while, but mostly what we're going to do is we're looking for some, more guests. Next, we have the last word.
The last word, my last word. You want me to
Yeah,
go first?
sure.
My last word is just to keep yourself open. Ride these waves, these very intense waves of December. Keep yourself open to whatever new could be coming down the pike for you.
Hmm.
Um, be aware and don't limit yourself. I don't know if we talked about that. Do not limit your expectations. Leave the door wide open for
Yeah,
whatever comes through. If you feel pulled to go through that door, go through that door. It doesn't mean you have to stay going down that path, but one step leads to another in some direction.
that's right.
So
Definitely.
just keep yourself open because things are going to change. I don't know how, but things are going to change.
Well, my last word had to do with, what to expect, which we already talked about. I would say have no expectation, but that is really hard to do. I've asked the guides about that, and they did give me a really long thing about it, and it was very disjointed. I don't know if maybe I wasn't super connected. But then I did another channel 10 seconds after that and it was perfect. So I'm not sure. Um, they would rather that we don't have expectations at all. But we're human. We're going to have them. So
Mhm.
anyway, so what to expect? You're going to have expectations, but what may happen to you, not just with these energies, what I would say is the big change that you're feeling is coming. I feel like it's going to happen around the solstice. December 18th and 19th is when the Three Eye Atlas, or Third Eye Atlas, as Robert Grant is calling it, when that it's going to be the closest to Earth. So the energies are going to be very strong. And if you want to connect to it and get some really good energy and such love, there is such love coming from that comet. No matter how many times I've tried to connect or I have connected and I've channeled a little bit, it's always just been total love. And I am here to send love to, and one time they said, it said to change how you feel about love. Now that was very interesting. So just be open to it, like Vicki was saying, just be open. But I feel like that's going to be a big thing. And
Yeah.
then the solstice, yeah.
I feel 12/12. I feel the solstice, and I feel around Easter,
Hmm.
2026.
Yeah, April's
I
going to
think
be a
these are
big
going
one.
to be huge influxes of more energies, maybe different energies, but it's going to be a whole different type of world by the end of next year.
I think so, yeah. Oh, definitely by the end of next year.
Hmm.
And
Because
so,
so many people are going to be waking up, and they're going to be surprised
yeah, they are.
that maybe they thought about something one way this year, and next year they're going to have their eyes open and think about something a different way.
And I just thought of something as you're saying that the way the people that are awakening now are going to be a different type of awakening. When
Hmm.
you and I went through our awakening, it was to become light workers or whatever people want to term it.
Right.
People that are actively doing daily things to help the collective. That's, I guess what I'm talking about. Then the other people now that are awakening are going to probably maybe more important because they're, I don't know about important, but a different type of human being because they're going to be still living their 3D life,
Hmm.
but feeling like we're saying light
Hmm.
workers were going to be, in the 5D, and we try to be in 5D as much as we can, and not in 3D. But these people that are awakening now are going to stay in 3D. So they're the ones who are going to integrate the
Hmm.
humanness into this new love that's coming through and the energies that are coming through.
Yeah, we've been like doing this for years, and a lot of people are just, things come in waves, like Dolores Cannon. I think it was like more of the first and second, like I was kind of in between those
Mm-hmm.
waves.
Mm-hmm.
But we've spent years still awakening, because I am not totally awakened yet. Because if I was, I could probably have more gifts. But my gifts
Manifest.
are just
Yeah.
fine for who I am and what I do.
Right.
And I do think things are going to change, but we all have different reasons for doing what we're doing, and it all has to do with our life plan and what we wanted for ourselves.
Right.
And regardless of how you get there, you're still going to get
Well, yeah, that's totally true. Totally true. But maybe there'll be more, that are awakening now that will be a different type of light worker. I don't know. But that's interesting. I always thought I was kind of I don't know about in between. Being born in the 60s, it kind of puts you in between because things were so simple. Well, they weren't, but it felt that things were so
there.
simple
Yeah.
and direct and normal in the 50s, and then the 70s was all free love and crazy, and so I guess the late 60s was when that started. They say actually the things that change in a decade are on the fives, really. So like you could look at 1971 and you're still going to see things from the 60s, and you could look at 1982 and you'll still see things from the 70s, that sort of thing, the integration and the changes. And that's a good gauge to look at how things are going to change over the next couple of years. This is the five. So it's leaving behind definitely leaving behind the rest and starting new. That's actually going to go into 20 up to
30.
2035. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Cool.
Cool.
So yeah, these are so fun. And I love how we get into the deep stuff too. We do the deep dive too,
That's,
and
I'm all about the deep dives,
that's so cool. So yeah,
but in a
so
light sort of way.
well, yes, definitely. Oh, very light, very full of light. Yes. So, and I sure hope that the energies integrate more easily within your body.
Well,
You
we'll
just
just have to keep on keeping on.
see how it goes. And yeah, you just expect that you're going to be healthy. That's what
Oh yeah. Oh, and another thing with these energies, you might find yourself becoming healthier. You might find yourself losing weight when you didn't really even try to lose weight.
Mhm.
Because your body is adjusting, even though your mind might not be. Your body is taking in these light codes that are coming from the sun and Three Eye Atlas. I do think it's bringing up the frequency of us, and our bodies are going to start change. Whether you might think you're sick and something is happening, but it could just be, of course, always go to the doctor if you feel like you need to, but it
Right.
could just be your body readjusting to the new frequency
Yes.
that we're going into.
And it's of course it's the same old mindset of, the I am, always use the I am. So our last words turned into many. I love it.
Yay.
Yay. So yeah. So like I said, no expectation. Try that. Try and have no expectations. That's really deep. That's a
And
very
whenever anything new pops up that you didn't expect, just go, wow, instead of
yeah.
going, ugh.
The first word you could say wow, and that will tell your body, oh,
Yeah,
that's a different way to react. I like that.
this could be fun.
Yes. Why not? Why not? And even if something bad, well, you say is bad, happens, even after that, you're going to look at it differently because you did not go starting in with, it's awful. So
Yeah.
that I
You
that,
always have to look for the good, which is a Jason Mraz song that I fell in love with many years ago.
ah,
But look for the good wherever you can,
that's right.
because it'll be there.
Yes. All right. Thank you. That was
Right.
beautiful. Okay,
Thank you for
guys.
staying with us.
Yeah, thank you. If you're still here, we appreciate it. And
Wake up, you're going to have to turn this off,
no, they
or we'll
probably
blow into another
it'll go
video of
into
us,
another video. That's right.
which
Yeah,
isn't a bad thing.
that's right. And we will have guests in upcoming. So it's not just going to be us always.
Not a bad
We're just
thing.
taking it. It's different. It's for the holidays. We're just taking it as it goes and staying in the
That's
flow.
right.
That's right. All right.
Well,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
everybody. It's
We
your
will see
time.
you. Yeah,
Thanks for being here.
it is your time. See you again.
It's your time.